My name is Reece Collins and this is my media evaluation for my magazine Euphoric. This is my preliminary task. As you can see, it's lots of brushes have been used. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? Messy. All over. It's just random brushes. The text is all different sizes, different colours. Nothing's linked to the contents page. And that's when I first started off in Photoshop. I wasn't very good. I wasn't sure what I was doing. So I was just messing around, using random brushes, just getting the feel of it. What inspired me to do the magazine I chose was I am a DJ, so I know what it's like. I like that sort of music, that genre. I'm a very fond reader of Mixed Mag, which is, I've sort of linked my magazine to Mixed Mag. You'll see when I show you the magazine that masthead is very similar, and there's a lot of articles that are the same as Mixed Mag and that follow the criteria. This is my front cover. This is my front cover. As you can see, it's got a masthead there with my skyline at the top. Its face stands out using the blue and with the yellow glow. Obviously got the main image there of myself. I've used curves to adjust the colour, manipulate the colouring and the light effect. Obviously I've got my lead article there, exclusive DJ Epic Speaks Out. It's kept very simple. I've only used one brush for the background. I used green screen. So I removed the green screen and then put a background, use one main brush. So yeah, it's my front cover. As you can see, it's very similar to Mixed Mag. It follows a trend of mainstream magazines such as Mixed Mag, Scratch and DJ Magazine. I don't know if you've ever heard of any of them, but they're all mainstream. It contains similar content. It's got resident DJs, club holidays, and as you can see, the Mixed Magazine down here, it's Calvin Harris. Similar photo shot. He's more of a close-up, but as you can see, he's got his all lead articles around the outside of him. As you can see, it's a club magazine. It's pretty obvious with the colours I use to make that stand out. This is my contents page. It's very similar to the front page, using the colours and the brushes to manipulate that trend. So you can say, yeah, that's the same magazine, and it continues the house trend throughout the magazine. This is a sort of contents page you find in Mixed Mag, as you can see down there, using large numbers, images to manipulate. You can see the lead articles and what's going on and draw your attention to it. I use large numbers and bright colours to draw the reader's attention. Otherwise, they're just going to look at it and just not bother. But using bright colours for my readers survey evaluation thingamajiggy, I got the information that people wanted to see bright colours to draw their attention to the contents page. That's my double page spread. It's very similar to mainstream magazines. You've got your lead article on the left there with your images and quotes. It's a very basic format, just to keep it simple and reader friendly, so people don't have to spend hours looking at all different mumble jumble of different quotes and everything. It's all in one area. I didn't use my masthead or any logo of Euphoric, just to keep it simple. I didn't use page numbering, which is what I would do to improve the double page spread if I had to, for later developing. It does follow very conventional double page spreads though. It's the same as Mixed Mag. Their lead articles usually have one double page spread, article on one side, images on the other. My target audience is 17-year-olds to 24-year-olds, and that's what I got from my research at the start of the magazine. That's the sort of people who are interested, who go out and spend the money on alcohol, going out and clubbing. Obviously, 19% of people were interested in drugs and alcohol. 21% were interested in DJing, a large 30% were interested in the music, 12% in clubbing holidays, and 18% of the fashion. So I've used all of those percentages and I've put a bit of everything in the magazine, just to give a variety of all sorts for everyone. everything the readers wanted to see, I put into the magazine, just because that's what they wanted to see, and it was to the target audience. If I was to distribute my magazine on a large scale, I'd use Bauer Media simply because they specialise in all media products from CDs, DVDs to magazines. They're European, so they do Mixed Mag, Enemy, Kerrang, Q, all the mainstream magazines, and also it's a good way of making money if you do tend to go into distribution. What I learned using Photoshop, curves I think featured heavily with all my images, including my masthead, just to manipulate the lighting and the colour effect. Also I used a lot of lens flare on my images just to create the clubbing look in a club with different lights everywhere. But with Photoshop there was many aspects I use and I'm still learning. These are my raw images that I used originally for my my Photoshop magazine. As you can see, those two there are pretty simple, but there's my green screen, which is easy because you can just cut around and get rid of it. Reader feedback. This is the survey I did after my magazine had been produced. Obviously 98% of the people said the magazine kept a constant house theme and was related to the topics neatly. I asked people if the content of the magazine was what they wanted. This was the age group between 17 and 24, and 96% of them said that they were satisfied with the content. I asked people if the images were appropriate for the theme, and 100% said yes. I also asked people if the leading articles were interesting to read. 89% of the people said yes. I also asked people if the magazine aimed at females, males or both, and 67% of the people said it was aimed at both females and males. This is my all three of my Photoshop products. Obviously if I was to change anything in the future, I would take a few of the quotes off the front page and tagline, pull lines. I would put numbering on my contents page and my double page spread, and I'll change the layout and colouring slightly just to vary it from the front and contents pages. The colours are quite similar and it starts to get boring after a while, and people want to see the magazine change progressively, but just keeping it a constant house theme. I think that's about it.
Since you started, thank you very much, Lance. Since you started your AS media course, what's been the biggest learning curve for you? All the technologies that you've been presented with?
Photoshop. I'd never used it before in my life. I've heard about it, I wasn't sure what it was. I opened up the application and saw all these different things you could do with photos. It wasn't like Picasso from Google, you could do everything. And
two techniques that really stick out in your mind from Photoshop?
Photoshop, that would be curves,
yep,
which is absolutely fantastic, and lens flare, because you can use lens flare and you do anything with it. It's not just lens flare, you can manipulate using Gaussian blur and
any questions?
Obviously being a DJ, it's made it easier for you to do a coloured magazine. If you weren't a DJ, would there have been any other style, or would you sort of stuck to?
If I wasn't a DJ, it'd be something. I play a piano, so it'd have been something related to something else, or it wouldn't have been anything to dance. It would have been more Enemy or Kerrang based, because that's sort of what I used to like, music I used to like. But that DJing inspired me because I love Mixed Mag, and that's why I chose to do a magazine like I did.
Because the audience you felt closest to.
Yeah.
You identified areas to improve on, like on the double page spread, adding page numbers. Why didn't you?
I made I mean, if you look on my profile, you can see that I've got different variations of my magazine front cover, double page spread, and contents page. My first attempt, it was very poor. There was lots of things that needed to be changed. That was my final attempt, but I still wanted to keep it very simple. And things like numbering change I just didn't think about it. But a lot of the other things, like putting the masthead on the pages, was something I'd consider just to keep the thing throughout.
Thank you very much.